This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard that tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back, legally, on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. There's a Rhode Island woman. Her name is Gianna, and she was banned for life from Tinder. You might like, well, why? Apparently, the service discovered that she was using the dating app not for dating, but to recruit teammates for her kickball league.
Brilliant. This is like the weirdest version of The Bachelor I think I've ever heard of.
Yeah, they call her the Kickball Cupid, as she found 25 players through this app.
Okay, she's got to be attractive.
I haven't seen a picture of her, so I don't know, but I might have to go in that camp, Steve. She found 18 players for her team.
I'm put in a very awkward position because I say that, and then
She's not what you would think a supermodel would look like.
she's not my type.
Wow.
But everybody's beautiful in God's eyes.
Oh, boy.
That's damning.
Wow.
She's not unattractive.
So here's the thing. She was able to get it done, Steve, and not the way you thought.
She's charming.
Oh, is that what you think? She's charming?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, how about this picture? Is she charming in this picture?
Nice smile.
Oh, you are really struggling, aren't you?
I love that hoodie, actually.
All right. Well, maybe that's the hoodie. Maybe the hoodie. She got 18 people on Tinder to be on her team and 7 to help fill out other rosters. So, I mean, Gianna's really she's dedicated to making this kickball league happen. I got to give her credit.
Yeah, but my question is, so did they think that they were going on a date with her, like to go play kickball together, and then they show up and there's 19 or 20 other dudes that also thought they were going to play kickball with her as well?
Yeah, 25 people did not think like you did, Steve, and said, sure, I'll go to dinner with you. And what she did is at the dinner, she would interview people, and based on personality, she'd be like, all right, we'll go to dinner. Here's some people from the league. Let's see how we all vibe. And she's like, if you're interested, it's great. And they're like, wait, you want me to be on your kickball team?
We're not dating.
Wow. Okay. And she eventually got 25 people to be happy with not dating her, but happy to be on a kickball team.
This is the weirdest thing ever. I mean, good on her.
It's very bizarre.
But I also understand why Tinder's probably like, look, this is not what this app is all about. It's not a place for you to recruit your kickball team.
Yeah, they say they have guidelines.
Is it?
I don't think that. I just don't think. I don't think it's that big of a deal. She wasn't really scamming them or anything. I mean,
no, I don't think she scammed anybody. But it's just wouldn't you think though, if you're meeting someone on Tinder, that you're going on a date because you're into that person? Because isn't that the whole point of Tinder?
I mean, I guess at that point maybe they just want, because I know
it's a dating app.
But I've known people that are on Tinder for just finding friends before too.
For real?
Yeah.
That's finding weird. Friends on Tinder for what? You go out to dinner and all you want to do is just be friends with somebody?
Yeah, well, I've seen, and correct me if I'm wrong, Vicky, I've seen people who are on there and they say not for hooking up, not for dating, just want friends because I'm in the area.
Yeah, some people
I feel like that's code for I don't want to sound like a complete sleazeball, but I want to bang somebody in Tequila.
And I don't want any labels or a girlfriend.
Yeah. I really, Danny, you really think they're just looking for friends?
That's what I thought. Granted, I've never been on the app, so I don't really know. I've heard of other friends doing that.
They did do this thing. I remember paying for it.
Escorts just escort you to establishments just for a fun.
Yeah. They just leave you.
Wait,
take
they
your hand and
don't?
hold you there. Yeah.
God, Steve, you and I are big a-holes if in fact people go, no, actually, I met a lot of friends on Tinder.
I met my best friend on Tinder.
Why? I mean, that's not what it's for.
I've made friends on Tinder, people that I still talk to this day, but I wasn't interested interested in being their friend at
That's
first.
what I was going to say. You didn't go into it looking to build a new Rolodex of friends.
But I did pay for a month thing where you could talk to people from all over the country, or excuse me, all over the world in different countries. So I was talking to people in Ireland and stuff, like trying to be a pen pal situation. And that way, if I ever go to Europe, I could bang these people. But it didn't really work out.
Effort.
It was a lot of effort and not a lot of reply backs. So I'm like,
Well, because you probably had no set date of going there. So
No,
like,
but
I want to put you on my bench in case I ever show up to Ireland.
But I'm like, I would have sent you some saucy pictures had you kept the conversation going.
Oh.
But, I feel like with dating sites, people don't talk much.
I don't know. See, I could never figure this out, Steve. I would be so frustrated by somebody like Vicky. I'm like, what are you doing?
But then why
are you
would
talking to me?
Why
You're
would
in
they join
America.
that part too, though? They also had to be a part of it. Like, why would you be talking to me? Like,
What
a good
a
point.
weird those kickball team, because all of them at some point were into her to want to go have dinner with her. It does feel like a very strange version of The Bachelor.
And yet you were like, okay, I'll be on your kickball team instead.
Well, kickball's fun.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but if I'm on Tinder, I think I'm be like, really? This is what's happening? Okay.
What if she's got like a championship team and like this is how coach puts the team together?
Look, I don't fault her.
Is it a different kind of champagne spray at the end?
I don't fault her for her motive, but I would be pissed.
Of course.
Yeah, I would be pissed.
This sounds like
Ash-
what you would do, like the premise of like a new major league like movie or something like that.
Right, like a new South Park like basketball.
Yeah.
she said she was very straightforward with everybody. Like on her profile, it's like, do you want to play kickball? So when anybody would match with her, she's like, I'm assuming you read my profile, you matched with me, and you want to play some kickball. So she was completely upfront with it.
Yeah, but I'm thinking that they're going to get to play kickball and then play with her kickballs later.
I mean, maybe they did.
Well, does it say that we're not going on a date? This is just for kickball only? Because I'm with Steve. I'd be thinking, okay, sure, we can play kickball, whatever you want to do, but later on, hopefully, it gets romantic. Because Tinder, or either that, she's so upfront that this is why Tinder was like, look, it is fine to invite your matches to something you're doing, but if the purpose of your profile is just to advertise your event or business, nonprofit, political campaign, contest, or conduct research, we may delete your account.
That was aggressive.
Yeah.
Well,
someone said I'm with Danny.
They're done.
Someone agrees with Danny. I know a lot of people who are just there for friends on Tinder. I would just like to know, like if you could put like some honest serum. They're like, yeah, I'm saying I want to be friends, but I'm also only swiping on the attractive people that I want to be friends with hopes that maybe something more comes up.
I'm with you, Steve. I am so tired of the double speak. It's like Tinder for friends, Grindr for friends. I mean, what's next?
Yeah, I'm here to grind.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Don't they have sites where you can just make friends? Aren't there apps just for that?
Does Friendster still exist?
No, what happened?
But I gotta think there's something out there
That's what she's
totally
doing now.
platonic.
There's Bumble for dating, but now there's Bumble BFF, and that's how she's matched with some more people since Tinder kicked her off.
That's funny.
Yeah, see, at least that tells me what it's all about. But if I go to, any dating site, I'm not going to be your friend. I mean, I suppose if I'm looking for a relationship, yes, you will be my best friend. But first, I want to be best friends with your...
My first thought is like rolling my eyes. I'll be honest. Like, it's like, what the hell is going on? But then it's like, well, this is the world we're in. Like, everything's like, everyone's being social online and through social media. That maybe you're not, maybe you don't want to have, maybe you're not making friends through work because maybe you're working at home or you're not you're new to a city. And it's like, I was lucky when I moved out here, playing music. That was how I was able to meet people, or playing hockey. I was doing activities that lended well towards meeting new people and becoming friends with those people. But if I didn't have those activities, it would be a pain in the ass to make new friends. Mm-hmm. So as much as I roll my eyes at first, I'm like, that's actually not that crazy to have an app so you can create new friends and do some stuff together, especially if you don't have activities where you're out and about meeting random people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's that events and adventures is like that. I mean, you go there hoping that maybe you get a little romance, but if not, you still get to have a great time and meet some people and maybe have some friends.
Yeah, you might not get the adventure, but you'll have the events.
Yeah. And I don't have a problem with the app either, Steve. I just think that Tinder is a dating app. That's just what it is. But, people, they like to bend the rules, break the rules. And I think Tinder's in the right here because she was all about using them to further her interests.
Well, I was going to say, to that point, you guys, I think, are in the right. I think that people who are using it for, I just was it just seems weird to me that they like banned her, because to me that doesn't seem like a violation, but apparently it is.
Yeah.
So I mean,
well, Danny, you have to read this thing called the rules, Danny, in order to be able to determine
rules,
something.
man. I live my life how I want.
Rules.
Well, it turns out also Tinder's got a kickball team, and they've lost to her team 2 years in a row.
Oh, that's what happened. There we go.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Although somebody said my experience with Tinder is just women soliciting for their OnlyFans.
Wow.
Oh, see,
I'm
I don't
not
go for that.
surprised by that.
I don't like that either. I think that's BS too.
Oh, that's like the attractive girl sitting at the bar in Dallas that we were convinced, like, we were like, wow, why are all these hot chicks hanging out in this bar at a radio convention in Dallas?
Yeah.
And then we put two and two together, like, oh, they're hookers.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to get some action.
Well,
and then you realize you started watching like the old fuddy-duddy, because this was the old fuddy-duddy convention. This wasn't the fun one that we do with, like, people of all ages.
This was the one and done convention that Steve and I went to.
This was the news radio one, which I was like, why?
So bad. Oh my God. You want to see a bunch of old white guys giving opinions that nobody wants to hear? That's the convention for you.
Oh my gosh, dude. It was ridiculous. Like, we both, like, I mean, it was like, everyone like doubled us in age, it felt like, and that's saying a lot.
Damn.
But, dude, they were old. Like, they were like 70 and they were just cranky. And then all of a sudden they're all disappearing with these hot girls. So, there we go. And I'm like, I'm just confused. I'm like, what's going on? Like, are these guys like radio stars and like these girls know who they are? And then finally you're like, oh wait, those are escorts.
Those are
geniuses. They made a killing. So I can understand how a girl with an OnlyFans, that's like, what an easy way. Like, you flirt with a guy and of course he's thinking with his wiener, and then you're like, look, I'm not going to hook up with you, but if you really want to see me naked, here's my OnlyFans.
I was coming off that, Steve, and that's why when I saw our buddy Ace with somebody who was younger than him, I just assumed it was the same thing. So and I felt bad when it turns out, no, that's Ace's, it was his girlfriend and now wife, but I just assumed it was a similar situation because of everything we saw in that convention.
If someone had to say, what are your top 5 moments of doing the show? It would be hard because I forget a lot of things, and there's been so many great moments. But there's one that would absolutely be, if not number 1, top 3, is the moment where we put Ace on the air and like awkwardly beat around the bush, pun intended, until he finally was like, BJ, did you think I was there with a hooker?
Yes. That was so amazing. Just calling him is like, hey, do you want to be on so we could talk about the fun times we had? And he's just like, okay.
And then within minutes, he started realizing what these questions were. And then he finally was like, did you think I brought a hooker to the radio convention? And we're all...
I sure did.
And he thought that was the funniest thing and like quite the compliment.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I hope he would think, because that means that, here's the thing. I also thought that she was a high class one, because she was like, like top of the line, because not only was she gorgeous, she was like, she had an amazing personality, was super friendly, no drama. And I thought, wow, this is an awesome person. And of course, since I thought she was a hooker, I'm like, she has to be big money. Right. I mean, this kind of refinement is years of training in order to be this kind of high class.
She wasn't dressing as what you'd expect a hooker to dress as.
No, she looked great, but you're right. She looked very appropriate. She was very friendly and courteous. And I'm like, this hooker has got to be one of the highest class that I've ever encountered in my life.
Like, what the hell are they paying Ace?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was so proud. Like, Ace is really spending the big dough on this girl.
She's here the entire weekend.
I was like, man, I'm afraid
message him and see if he's going this year, because I want this to happen into some sort
and
of
invite her.
Exactly.
Yes.
And they're together. Obviously, they're married, and she's a delightful person. I just think her taste in men's a little suspect. Otherwise, though, that's all.
Ace is awesome.
Yeah. No, he really is. Ace is a great guy.
Yeah, you watch him.
But Steve, I'm just the kind of guy that I'm going to say what pretty much everybody else was thinking at that convention. I think everybody was thinking that this has to be a very high price call girl.
I at no point thought he was dating.
I did not think that at all.
I just thought,
are you kidding me?
I thought, good on Ace.
I didn't even. I was just
I think she's half his age.
Yeah.
And look, he's a good dude.
He's a great dude.
But I mean, yes, magic like that can happen. But
I believe in miracles.
no, that's what I'm saying. I believe in money buying miracles is what I believe.
Oh, so you think she's a gold digger? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I thought she was a high price hooker. Is what I thought she was.
Okay, different.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
My bad.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot better than a gold digger. And again, it was coming off that convention we were just at, where all the old dudes got all the women. Steve, it was in my head.
Oh, I'll be honest though, whenever we go to these radio conventions now, whenever there is an attractive girl, my first thought is she maybe, is this an escort situation? Like, which sucks, because it's like, there's attractive people in radio, and then you're just in the back of your head, you're like, man, seen this happen before.
Yeah. Oh, we have. Oh, yes, we have.
Because it has happened at some of the actual radio conventions that we go to, where like there's like talks of people being like, did you know that girl over there? She just proposed that I do stuff with her for a price. And I'm like, no.
There were certain girls that I knew every single time because they'd show up with someone, and I was like, oh, okay.
They should wear like a shirt or a dress that has like a QR code on it. That way at least you know.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, that's why
see my prices.
That's why I thought Ace's girl was amazing. I thought she knows how to do her job.
Wouldn't that be hilarious if that's how you knew if someone's a call girl? And it's like,
because you have a big QR code
everyone's got their cell phone taking a picture of like her sleeve.
It's not a bad idea.
I mean,
it's out of budget. Oh man, do you take Apple Pay?
Of course, I feel like you're making the police's job a lot easier when you do that, Steve.
right? I mean, just say it's for drinks or something for like a bachelorette. We did that for my cousin's bachelorette. We wore bracelets that had a QR code, like tip us to get her a drink. So just say it's for drinks. You know,
but if you're a cop and scan the code and it's like hose or us, Vicky, you're going to
There's code words.
It's got different prices and different things.
There's code word.
Yes.
What's a code word that what am I going to know the code word is? How am I going to know if a cop doesn't know? How am I going to know?
You could turn it into a drink menu.
Yeah.
You could have the hot coffee, the cold brew, the nitro,
the sex on the beach, the clamato.
Yeah.
The clamato.
The clamato.
Yeah.
Made with clam juice. Mm.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, I think we're done here. Thank you.
So maybe not for Call Girl, but honestly, I think we should get Joe a big QR code shirt. It doesn't say anything else on it, just a big QR code that he just wears around Chicago.
Yes.
And because people will scan it, and then it'll go to his like love website where it's like joeshouseoflove.com.
Oh, I was thinking of just go to a site that just says, hi, my name is Joe.
Or that.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's just like, what the hell is this? I just scanned this.
That actually is a great idea.
Right?
Yeah, that is a great idea.
That would be the funniest thing.
It would be amazing.
We could get this done. We should all wear them.
Yes.
And then ours goes to, hi, our friend's name is Joe.
Hi, have you met Joe?
Have you met Joe?
Yeah.
That's just the whole thing. Have you met Joe?
Yes.
Okay. It could say, I'll go to it and say, sorry, ladies, ... taken, but have you met my friend Joe?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, this
Joe's
is
looking at us like, don't do this to me.
No, it's
yeah.
You think it's bad enough you made me wear a gold jacket?
Don't worry, Joe. Don't worry about it. It's not going to happen because it will require follow through and effort. And with like most of Steve's idea.
Vicky's already on it.
I'm an idea man. I don't follow through on it.
Yeah, well, you know what? You're not getting any of my money to do this, so Joe, don't worry, it won't happen.
Oh, this is great. We have to build a website.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? Make a QR code, pay the money for the shirts. I'm sure you guys are all going to make this happen.
HaveYouMetJoe.com.
In the meantime, we got to talk about this middle school that's in the news. Why is this middle school in the news? Because they make their students sit on hot pavement.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a thing. And you're going to hear from one of the parents at 8:20 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Well, an investigation has been launched at a middle school in Arkansas after students were forced to sit on the pavement in 95-degree temperatures as a punishment. Look,
what's wrong with that? I'm kidding, of course.
I hate to be stereotypical, but you know what? Doesn't surprise me that it comes from Arkansas. Really, Arkansas?
Man, though, growing up where I grew up, the things that, obviously times have changed, but some of the things that some of these teachers would do, even back then, you're just like, of course. It's completely wrong. So I don't know if it's necessarily an Arkansas thing.
It is.
Oh, because
well, back then, Steve, is back then. Back when I was going to school, this stuff would happen. All sorts of worse stuff would happen. But, the country has changed, and I just feel like Arkansas is a place where I think that people don't like the changes that are happening on the coasts. And so I'm not surprised that somebody thought this was a good idea from Arkansas.
The weird thing, it's a Brooklyn middle school, Brookland, and their mascot name is the Firebutts. So maybe that had something to do with it.
Oh, okay. Well, then I take it back, Arkansas. Here's a parent of one of the students speaking about the disciplinary action.
So many other kind of punishments they could have done. They could have, taken them in, write sentences, anything, but setting them on black asphalt for their whole 30 minutes, that is wrong.
How do you think that's a good idea?
Yeah.
This will learn them.
It's definitely that corporal punishment mentality, and there are, spare the rod, spare the child kind of mentality, and I just feel like some of those certain states in our union still feel like that's the way to go.
Did they say what the kids did? Or what they would do to warrant it, to have to get this punishment?
No, I wish they did that. You're right, Danny. That's not good at reporting. I need to know what these kids did.
Maybe they set the teacher's butt on fire.
Yeah.
It's like eye for an eye kind of thing.
Right.
That I'm all for. You're right.
But if they were just late or tardy that morning,
sit outside.
Go sit outside. Yeah.
I get it. What's that?
Looking online, it says for being disruptive in the cafeteria.
Oh, jeez.
What does that even mean? I mean, was there a food fight?
Maybe they promised their students pretzels and they ran out of pretzels by the time one of their students wasn't able to get one.
Well, if that student's name was Steve Miggs, I can understand where he would have to have his butt set, because you would have gone crazy. You would have flipped tables. You would have, yeah.
Well, I called them mother effers, and I got kicked out of the class that day.
Yeah, I remember that. Well, I remember you telling us about that. Yeah.
So I could see that. You want to call his mother effers? Go sit outside on the asphalt.
Yeah, back in your day, yes.
You ever stepped on hot, street, the black asphalt, when it's in the summer?
Yeah, it's called living in Phoenix in the summer. It's a beating.
When sometimes we're walking, a sandal will pop off and your foot goes down on it. And stepping on hot sand sucks, but it's a whole other level of crappiness.
Yeah. And so here's the kids sitting on this.
I gotta imagine they're wearing shorts too. Oh, I don't know if there's a dress code, but there's a potential skin being stuck to that, wouldn't you think?
Well, here's what there's something about old school corporal punishment that they feel like the butt is the best place to just do your business on, hitting people and they shouldn't be injured. I remember that growing up. You hit them on the butt, it's fine. If you hit them anywhere else, then it's abuse. I remember parents just saying that all the time. It was okay, so the butt is your chance to just go hog wild and just take out all your rage, and you feel like, okay, you can't damage me. Okay, this is great.
And props to that mom. She sounded like, she kept cool, calm, and collected. There would not be enough bleeps if they were interviewing me. If I was, also, I'd probably already be in handcuffs. I'd be that guy I couldn't even imagine. If I found out my kid was being forced to sit out there on that. That's one of the things I gotta realize at times. I gotta maybe let mom handle the situations, because I'd be who did his mother? Coming in Samuel L. Jackson.
You would be channeling your dad. See, they might be going, look at that, father, like son. I knew he had it in him.
I'm ready to get into arguments for 6-year-olds when they walk, they push by Tatum at the playground, and I'm what are you doing?
Oh, dude,
it's calm down. I'm all right, I know, I gotta be cool, but she's trying to climb this thing too, and they're pushing her out of the way. She could fall.
Danny, Vicky, have you had those moments? I remember those moments especially with Joey, where I saw kids treating him badly, and I was and it brought me back to my childhood and all the bullying that was done to me, and I was ready to step in.
Oh, yeah. Multiple times with Lily, especially at the trampoline parks when you start going to those things. And a lot of times, Lily would always come and tell me, though, hey, this kid's being mean, and then I'd have to go and be tattoos. They'd usually get scared.
Yeah, I can take you.
Yeah.
What do you got? You can't even see me eye to eye. Let's go. Then he brings his 15-year-old brother. You're I'm cool.
I'm cool.
Yeah. Whoa, wait a minute.
Hold up.
This is not alone. What is it, a blended family? What's going on here? You're not supposed to have a brother this old.
Yeah, when we go to some places like those ball pit places, or and there's kids diving, you're this is just chaos. But what are you gonna do? It's but it's always those kids are around 8 or 9 where you almost want to be you're too old for this little activity. I don't even know if they are or aren't, but like I assume they are because my child's there and she's clearly a lot younger.
You're joining my side, Steve, where the kids are too old for stuff. I love this. Pretty soon you'll be anti-teenies on Halloween. You'll be that way.
I think I try to say, like, we were at a park and there was like a group of like I'd imagine 14 or 15-year-olds, and they show up and they're like playing on the little spinny things and like they're going super fast on it. And it takes everything in my power to be like, go do something different, you losers. Like, this is for kids.
That's the sad thing. I remember being that age and not having anything to do.
Right now, and my wife was like, I'll start like saying it under my breath, like, it's losers. And then my wife's like, what would you rather them do? Like causing problems or coming to a playground and just doing silly things? I'm like, you're right. Like, they're not hurting anybody. Yeah. But it's just like they're being like they're taking kids' toys and rides and they're like going crazy with them. And I'm like, I'm getting all worked up about it.
I'm like, and they're still technically kids.
And I want to call them all losers. I'm like, what is that going to do?
I'm with Steve. I'm with Steve. March those little SOBs out of that park. I'm with you, buddy. Let's do it.
Well, look at that slide's meant for a 2-year-old, you losers.
Exactly. Get out. I go, you know what? I'll give you something to cry about. Get out
some pot and leave.
That's why
we're 9 years old.
Put it on the hot pavement. That's fantastic.
I don't have to worry about my little brother because he has like this little best friend / frenemy at daycare, and he learns so many bad things from this kid. Like, he will bite back. So this kid has bitten him.
Oh, so your brother's the one that we have to watch out for.
And now he's the biter. And so I'm trying to teach him not to bite. But I've also, when I've taken him to the playground by my house, there's much older kids, like 12 or whatever. And I'm like, okay, if he can play with them, that's awesome. If not, he'll get out of their way. But now I have to perfect my mother's look. The look you give to kids, doesn't matter if they're yours or not, where it's like, you need to knock it off. And I'm learning how to channel this because they start swearing, and then I have to explain, like, his teacher why he's saying the S word. It's like, no, I promise I didn't say the S word in front of him. This was the kids at the playground, so I have to be like, language, children! And now I feel old. I feel like a gray hair is coming in right now.
Yeah. That's why you got to take all these kids to Arkansas. The biters, take them to Arkansas. They'll fix them.
Yeah, burn your ass.
That's it. Arkansas is the new place to learn them kids how to be right.
I'd pay good money, though, to be in the room when they had, like, that, whatever teacher. Hopefully, like, no one else was on board with this form of punishment, and they found out also, like, the first time, and then... So what were you really thinking when you had a bunch of kids sit on hot asphalt?
Oh, dude.
And think that was going to be okay with not only the school, but also with the entire, like, all their parents.
Yeah, it is amazing to me, and yet there are some people that just believe this is the way you do it. They're still out there. I'm with you, Steve. I can't believe people in their brain can think that this is the right thing to do, but they do. And yesterday, Steve, he did get this one right.
Coconut milk, pineapple juice, and rum make up what cocktail?
A pina colada.
Yes.
Nice work, Steve.
If you like pina colada,
nice job. You want a shot at beating Steve? You know what you got to do. You got to call 206-421-ROCK. We're going to play Beat Migs at 8:47 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. Here's another question from a listener. I'm getting my wages garnished. Can bankruptcy help with that?
Absolutely. One of the big reasons people file bankruptcy is because they have a judgment or a lawsuit against them, or their wages are getting garnished, and so they can't pay their other regular ongoing bills. People sometimes think that you can't file bankruptcy once they have a judgment against them or once a garnishment has started, and that's not true. Filing bankruptcy will immediately stop any garnishment that you have going, except for child support, and stop your creditors from continuing on with garnishments of your bank account, your wages, and in most cases will discharge that liability through the bankruptcy process. And we can file a bankruptcy case for you usually the day you come in.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, GEICO can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and GEICO is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.